Have you ever gazed at the stars in the sky and wondered who we are, how we were born? Or have you ever questioned why humans appeared on this earth? Throughout the vast expanse of history, humanity has ceaselessly sought answers to this mystery. To this day, Darwin's renowned theory of evolution has deeply embedded itself in most of our minds. This theory suggests that all living organisms, including humans, came into existence through the process of evolution from ancient microorganisms. But is this truly reliable? Could there be another explanation for the presence of humanity and all living creatures on this earth? Nowadays, aliens are widely known as a fascinating scientific topic studied across various countries around the world. Countless opinions and perspectives exist about their role in the flow of human history. Most theories suggest that aliens visited Earth and assisted in the creation of ancient civilizations. However, some argue that aliens arrived billions of years ago. They came not in the form of tall, pale-skinned beings with advanced spacecraft, but as tiny, unassuming forms. These entities supposedly awoke in suitable environments, rapidly reproduced, evolved, and adapted over time. If you're curious about what these beings might look like today, just take a glance in the mirror. The story I just shared symbolizes one perspective on the origins of life on Earth. It's possible that everything alive around us today originated from seeds of life that didn't come from this planet. While this idea might sound far-fetched, it has a surprising degree of plausibility. The key question is, how did these seeds of life arrive here? How could they form and survive in the universe? Over 4 billion years ago, Earth's surface was drastically different from what we see today. The planet was covered in water, a massive ocean spanning the globe with no land masses to be found. These shallow oceans, no deeper than 30 meters in some places, were dotted with small volcanic islands formed from erupting molten materials. The atmosphere was filled with toxic gases and ash, completely inhospitable to life as we know it. During this chaotic time, a spaceship from outer space is theorized to have approached Earth. It carried a unique cargo, capsule-like pods, each the size of a small car, filled with billions of tiny life seeds capable of growth and reproduction. These seeds contained no nuclei, but held the precious blueprint for life, DNA. As the spaceship released its cargo into Earth's atmosphere, the capsules burned upon entry, but were designed to withstand such intense physical impacts. Upon hitting the oceans, they created explosive reactions, scattering the life seeds everywhere. Most unicellular organisms likely perished immediately in the boiling waters, but some survived near underwater volcanic vents. These survivors thrived, adapted, and evolved, eventually transforming barren islands into thriving ecosystems. The extraterrestrial seed sowers knew it would take billions of years for intelligent life to develop from the DNA of these first unicellular organisms. Now back to reality. Even if we replace alien life capsules with comets or meteorites, the scenario of life's evolution remains similar. Many scientists believe life on Earth might not have originated here, but was instead brought by cosmic objects, a concept known as panspermia. This hypothesis suggests that life originated in other parts of the universe and entered Earth through collisions with comets or meteorites. While there's no concrete proof yet, major scientific discoveries over the past century have made panspermia a more plausible theory. The concept of panspermia was proposed by the Swedish Nobel Prize-winning chemist Svante Arrhenius in 1903. Before panspermia, the widely accepted theory was that life originated on Earth through natural processes, where inorganic materials transformed into organic compounds in what is known as the primordial soup theory. This process, believed to have occurred 3.5 billion years ago, involved the gradual accumulation of organic molecules, which eventually formed the building blocks of life through chemical reactions. But panspermia takes a more cosmic view, suggesting that life could form and survive extreme conditions in space. To test this, Arrhenius exposed microorganisms to near absolute zero temperatures in a lab. Most organisms perished in the intense cold, but some miraculously survived when warmed gradually, showing extraordinary resilience. These resilient life forms, called extremophiles, have proven that life can endure the harshest environments. From deep-sea hydrothermal vents, with temperatures exceeding 400 degrees Celsius, to crushing pressures of 300 atmospheres, life manages to thrive against all odds. Even in the vacuum of space, where there's no atmosphere to shield against radiation and extreme temperature fluctuations abound, certain extremophiles have demonstrated an ability to survive. This resilience fuels the possibility that life could exist beyond Earth, potentially in forms radically different from anything we've seen. The story of life's origins, whether seeded by aliens, meteorites, or Earth's own primordial conditions, remains one of the most captivating mysteries of our existence. In 1977, scientists discovered a large number of hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor. A hydrothermal vent is a crack on the planet's surface that creates a region of water heated by geothermal energy. These vents are often found near areas with active volcanoes where tectonic plates are pulling apart, in oceanic trenches, or at hotspots. Hydrothermal vents are quite common on Earth because the planet has both strong geological activity and a large amount of water on its surface and within its crust. The land-based equivalents of hydrothermal vents are hot springs, boiling lakes, and fumaroles. Perhaps the most famous example of land-based hydrothermal activity is found in Yellowstone National Park, USA. Underwater hydrothermal vents are often referred to as black smokers. The areas surrounding these vents are incredibly biodiverse and are home to many complex organisms that thrive on dissolved chemicals in the water. In these environments, chemosynthetic archaea form the base of the food chain, supporting a variety of life forms such as giant tube worms, bivalve mollusks, shrimp, and sea slugs. It's astonishing that life can thrive at such extreme temperatures, exceeding 400 degrees Celsius at the vent openings. No one knows how these organisms' DNA remains intact under such heat, but an even greater mystery puzzles scientists. How do these creatures survive under such extreme pressure? Humans cannot endure such depths without protection, as the average person can only withstand pressures equivalent to 5 to 6 atmospheres. Yet, these creatures live under pressures reaching 300 atmospheres. For those unfamiliar, ATM is a unit of pressure measurement, representing the average atmospheric pressure at sea level, measured at the latitude of Paris, France. Beyond surviving extreme heat or cold, some organisms can also thrive in acidic environments, oxygen-deprived conditions, or other extremes we can barely imagine. But is that enough for life to exist beyond Earth? Space presents challenges far greater than any extreme environment on Earth. In space, there's no atmosphere to shield against solar radiation, and temperature differences can swing by hundreds of degrees Celsius. But more dangerous than radiation or temperature is the vacuum itself. Space is a vacuum, meaning there's no atmospheric pressure to prevent bodily fluids from boiling. Without pressure, the boiling point of liquids drops dramatically. Considering that 70% of the human body is water, this is a major problem. Blood, sweat, tears, and water in body tissues would boil and vaporize instantly. The vacuum of space would also rapidly pull air out of your lungs, leaving you unable to breathe. The continuous boiling of bodily fluids would cool your body as the evaporation absorbs heat, causing areas near your mouth and nose to freeze. Humans cannot survive more than a few minutes in space without protective gear, yet, astonishingly, there are animals that can survive such conditions. A strange event happened to life on Earth approximately 500 to 600 million years ago. This event is known as the Cambrian explosion. It marks the relatively rapid emergence of most major animal groups, as recorded in fossils. Before this, around 580 million years ago, most organisms were simple in structure, mainly composed of individual cells or colonies of cells. But then, over the next 70 or 80 million years, the pace of evolution accelerated exponentially, and life began to diversify in ways similar to what we see today. Scientists often explain this explosion of life as a result of a sudden jump in atmospheric oxygen levels, which allowed life to evolve, change, and diversify more quickly. In 2018, a group of 33 scientists proposed a more daring theory about the cause of the Cambrian explosion. According to them, around 570 million years ago, meteorites crashed into Earth carrying complex biological materials, far more advanced than anything that had existed on Earth up to that point. These meteorites, they claim, brought with them bacteria, amino acids, and even eggs of certain animals still existing today. On March 13, 2018, an article titled "The Cause of the Cambrian Explosion" was published in the journal Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology. The most shocking claim in the article was that octopuses might be extraterrestrial beings that arrived on Earth via a comet some 570 million years ago. This wasn't the first time such an idea had been proposed, but the fact that over 30 scientists supported it made many people take notice and also sparked skepticism. Why were octopuses specifically suspected of having an origin outside Earth? What makes them so different from other creatures? When scientists studied octopuses more closely, they found some astonishing features. Octopuses have 9 brains, a unique neural structure that makes them incredibly capable. Like humans, octopuses have a central brain, but this brain only contains about 10% of their total neurons. So where are the other 90%? It turns out that 30% of their neurons are located in their optic lobes, while the remaining 60% are distributed across their 8 arms, which function almost like independent minds. This means each arm can think, sense, and act on its own without direction from the central brain. This independence makes their limbs as flexible and capable as human arms and legs, if not superior in some ways. Another bizarre feature is their 3 hearts, each serving different functions and located in different parts of their body. This unique distribution of neurons and organs also gives octopuses remarkable memory capabilities. Studies have shown they can think strategically and even use their surroundings, like terrain or the remains of other creatures, for camouflage. Of course, these traits alone don't prove octopuses are extraterrestrial, but what truly stunned researchers was the genetic analysis. Scientists discovered that octopuses have 33,638 mapped protein-coding genes, far more than humans, who have around 21,000. How could this be? No logical explanation fits. This has led scientists to revisit the panspermia hypothesis, which suggests that basic life forms can survive for millions of years, traveling between planets aboard meteorites. However, octopus embryos, as complex as they are, pose a significant challenge to this theory. Such advanced organisms could not survive in such conditions. So where did they come from? For life forms with octopus DNA to arrive on Earth and thrive, 2 conditions must be met. First, they must have evolved on a planet somewhat similar to Earth. Second, that planet must be close enough for meteorites to carry them here. One candidate stands out: Mars. Mars might have seeded life on Earth, and it could actually be true. Could life have developed on Mars earlier and more easily than on Earth in the past? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. Scientists have reasons to believe that life might have first emerged on Mars, not Earth. Although water is essential for life as we know it, the presence of water can ironically hinder the formation of the building blocks of life. Earth's early history shows it was almost entirely covered by a vast ocean, making it difficult for these critical components to develop. Life likely began in shallow waters exposed to cycles of sunlight and drying. This process allowed organic molecules to accumulate steadily, layer by layer over time. These repeated drying cycles eventually led to the formation of complex organic materials that could serve as the foundation for life. On early Mars, with its less water-drenched surface, Such conditions may have been far more favorable for life to form. The panspermia hypothesis, suggesting that life could be transported between planets, has gained traction as a plausible scientific explanation. While still debated, we are inching closer to proving it. If this theory is ever confirmed, it would settle debates about extraterrestrial life and aliens once and for all. You wouldn't have to look to the stars for aliens, because you might just be one yourself, right here on Earth. What are your thoughts on the topic we've discussed today? Feel free to share your opinions and join the conversation to explore this fascinating idea further.